My wife turned her sister into her own personal slave, so I confessed to my wife that I prefer her sister sleeping in the house than her. I, 35 meters, and my wife, 35 feet, have been married for 6 years. Some background: 7 months ago, my wife gave birth to our daughter, Sadie. Ever since, my wife has been increasingly rude and refuses to do any work around the house, claiming she's still healing from giving birth, even though she frequently goes out with her friends. 3 months ago, my wife's stepsister, Hannah, 25 feet, asked my wife if she could temporarily move in with us. Hannah lived in a substandard apartment building and tenants were recently forced to leave due to unsafe conditions. Hannah didn't have enough money to get another place right away, hence her request. Despite always claiming they never got along, my wife seemed very eager to let Hannah move in. They agreed that Hannah would help with Sadie in exchange for staying with us rent-free so she could save up for a deposit on a proper apartment. Everything was fine at first. Hannah has ADHD and took a week to adjust to living with us. During that week, she did all the chores my wife had been neglecting without us asking her to. I tried to tell her she didn't have to do all of them, but my wife waved me off, saying Hannah's ADHD makes her want to do it. Hannah backed her up. After she cleaned something, my wife would thank Hannah a lot. I thanked her as well, but my wife did it constantly, which seemed strange to me. My wife dismissed my questions, saying it was normal to do with people with ADHD. Since then, my wife has pushed all childcare and any household chores I don't do onto Hannah. She has also been increasingly rude to Hannah and yells at her if she makes a mistake on the first try. I tried to intervene when I was at home, but my wife would accuse me of wanting to let Hannah lay around the house being lazy because she was retarded. My wife and I had a huge fight about her using that word to describe Hannah and didn't speak for a few days. My breaking point came when I found out my wife had been making Hannah pay her rent and buy baby supplies. I pay all the bills, and the money Hannah had been giving my wife was not going towards the house. My wife was using it to go out with her friends. My wife also made Hannah pay for food. I usually give my wife the money for food, and she bought snacks for herself with Hannah's contribution. I had another fight with my wife where she said Hannah was lazy and if she didn't like her rules, then Hannah could sleep on the street and get out of her house. That's when I told my wife it's my house as she doesn't pay any bills and at this point doesn't do anything but be as lazy as she accuses Hannah of being. I would rather live with Hannah. My wife got quiet and has been refusing to talk to me or Hannah for the past few days, and I'm starting to think I crossed a line. Do you think I did? Edit. I have no romantic feelings for Hannah. Even if I did, Hannah is a lesbian, and even if she weren't, I would not take advantage of her by making a move on her while she's dependent on me for housing. Please stop suggesting I marry Hannah. Edit 2. She was cleared for PPD a few months ago, but due to comments, I will discuss having her screened again. Relevant comments. Do you understand what a huge red flag it is that your wife lied to you and Hannah when she took Hannah's money and kept it for herself? Like huge. No wonder they never got along. That's because your wife is a mongoose. Apparently, she is totally comfortable lying to your face. And Hannah's. And she has no problem pretending not to be married. You should grant her that wish. Update. Apologies for waiting so long to update. I was attempting to resolve the issue with my wife and Hannah. The talk I had with my wife was not productive. I mentioned having her checked again for PPD, and she refused. She also refused to see a marriage counselor with me. I pressed the issue of her being checked for PPD and told her if she didn't, then I would move forward assuming her attitude was completely her own doing and there was no underlying cause, and if I did that, our marriage wouldn't survive. Maybe it was the wrong way to go about it, but I saw no other way to convince her, and she still refused. I honestly do not believe she has PPD and this is just her based on her actions following the talk. After our conversation, she proceeded to purposefully cause messes and yelled at Hannah more often. I didn't sit back this time, however, and I defended Hannah. After a week of this, I told my wife to move out. She had become an unrecognizable terror. She went to stay with a friend and has been refusing to see Sadie to punish me. She also has been messaging me, telling me when Sadie is old enough, she will ensure our daughter knows about the way I treated her. Hannah feels she shouldn't be welcome without her sister, but I assured her that wasn't the case. Also, to those who said my wife was cheating on me, you were unfortunately correct. A few days ago, I told my wife I wanted a divorce, and she completely blew up on me before informing me that she would be going for full custody because she's been cheating on me for the entire time we've been together and she's positive Sadie isn't mine. I cannot accurately describe what I'm feeling or what's going to happen in the future, but I'm terrified she's going to take my daughter away from me. I don't care if she isn't biologically mine, Sadie is my daughter, and I love her. I'm looking for a lawyer and will hopefully get some advice on how to keep my daughter. I'm on her birth certificate, so I'm hoping that means legally she's mine regardless of paternity. I'm sorry if this was a bit all over the place. I'm still dealing with the fallout of everything, but I thought I would update you all. To end this on a better note, if that matters to you, Hannah has agreed to continue living here to help look after Sadie regardless of her future ability to rent an apartment. Currently, we are looking into some kind of employment agreement where she'll basically be a live-in nanny for Sadie. This was Hannah's idea when I brought up compensating her for the extra work she's done so far. I don't think I'll update again, so this is it as far as I'm aware. But I appreciate all the support from you guys.